Let's do this.
All right.
Fresh out of the car.
Yes.
Oh, tired. You got to let me have some downtime.
I always do.
No, you never do.
I do.
No, I'm talking days. Like I need 3 or 4 days off.
Okay, you get 3 days and then I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay. So pick your 3. Pick them. What are the 3?
Right now.
Okay. Today's Saturday.
Starting right now.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
No, starting right this minute.
Okay. You want
Can
3 days.
Done? Thanks. We'll check you guys next week. Take them out.
Empty nest, full tank.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey listeners, ever wonder what it would be like to blow up your comfort zone at the tender age of 50? Well, we did just that. When our last kid went off to college, we hit the road in search of a new hometown. Now we bounce from city to city and bring you along for the ride. This is the Skip Town All-Stars podcast.
What's up, All-Stars? Welcome back to another episode of Skip Town All-Stars. How we doing, Trixie?
I'm doing well. I had a nice little nap in the car.
You did, yeah. You should be nice and fresh.
I am. Despite your bad driving, I slept pretty well in the car.
My driving was killer.
How tired I was.
We got back in record time because I'm exhausted and I want to get this great show done. We got a little surprise for you today.
We do. We came across one of the smallest interior towns in Florida. It's called Micanopy.
Micanopy.
Not Micanopy, not Micanopy.
Not Micanopia.
No, not that one either.
I did that one.
You did.
Yeah.
Micanopy. So it was established in 1837 and it has, get this, 635 inhabitants. And it's quite popular on the weekends because it's known for its antique shops. So this isn't a drive-through town where you pass it on the freeway and you just say, oh, look at that town. You can't pass this on the freeway. You actually have to. Are you done?
I know that it takes a while to get accustomed to how a microphone works.
No, stop that. I know how I do it every week.
So look, the microphone was just here.
No, it wasn't that far away.
Yeah, it was.
It absolutely wasn't.
Why don't you talk like this?
No, I'm going to turn it now toward me. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway,
Ready to start now?
Yeah.
Welcome back, All-Stars.
Stop it. It's one of those towns that you don't see off the freeway. You have to find it. And he and I driving across.
Well, there was a sign for it.
There was, but it wasn't one of those towns in our travels.
Yeah, it didn't say 10 gas stations, Mama's Restaurant, Sonic,
or even,
Arby's, none of that.
But even there were several cities that we've seen through our travels that literally the freeway drives right through it, like, doing 75,
That's true.
In your case, 92. And then you have to slow down to 45 because you're entering a main street of a small town.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And this wasn't that, but it looked like it could have been.
It was at one time. That's where all the Greyhound buses and all the traffic used to go through that entire area.
We did learn that.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, it looked like a cool city to visit considering that it's small. Mm-hmm. We talk about the idea of living in a small town.
We do. Yeah. I like the idea.
It's their houses minimum acreage is a half an acre.
That's a good rule.
It's a requirement. If you want to live in this city and you want to buy a town or you want to build a home, it has to have a minimum of a half acre.
If you want to buy a town, you just said if you want to buy a town.
I'm so sorry. If you want to buy a house.
I'd like to buy a town.
If you want to buy a house,
okay.
The minimum acreage is a half acre. And if you want to build a house, the minimum acreage is a half acre. I was talking to the Historical Society Museum and talked to a woman named Sandy who volunteers her time. She's the docent there. Found out Sandy and her cousin Billy are 4th generation. And wouldn't you know, Sandy was available to do a little interview with us today to talk to us about living in Micanopy,
There you go again.
I know. Micanopy, her entire life. And Billy as well.
And wouldn't you know it, we had a few cameras laying around. So we took a few GoPros out there this morning and they were kind enough to let us record some of their backstory. Here are a few minutes of our really long interview with them, but we clipped it down for you. Enjoy. We'll be back in a few minutes. This is great.
You opened it up early for us.
Yes,
Thank you. That's very
I
sweet.
have the key. James, hi.
Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
That's
Hey, how
my
are
cousin
you?
Billy Mountain.
James, how are you?
Good, how are you?
What's going on?
Not
Thank you
much.
for doing this.
My name is Sandra, Sandy, Tyson, Mountain Tyson. I'm fourth generation as well as Billy.
Been here my whole life. I did move away twice for work.
It's a nice little community. They call it the town that time forgot.
What movies have they filmed here?
Doc Hollywood was our big one, you know, and then we did a film called Cross Creek, The Life of Marjorie Kennan Rollins.
Cross Creek, Sojourn, we have Yearling, South Moon Under. These are all Marjorie Kennan Rollins books. That's Chief Micanopy right there.
Oh, okay.
The town's namesake.
He was a Seminole or
Yes.
no? Okay.
yes. Seminole means runaway.
Okay.
The Creek Nation had split.
Mm-hmm.
And when they split off, the Creeks called the people that left
Mm-hmm.
Seminoles, which means runaway.
I saw the flags around town, the 200-year anniversary. When was that? In 21?
21.
Okay.
They just haven't taken it down.
I mean, people come from all around Florida to do antiquing here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
From all over.
We don't have boarded up stores like a lot of little towns do.
Oh, yeah. Very crowded on the weekends. On the main street here, most of the buildings are zoned historic.
Our grandfather's garage.
And then our,
Are you serious?
No way, really?
It still says garage
Like
on
a
it, doesn't
mechanic's
it?
garage?
Yeah.
He had the first automobile garage in Wadsworth County.
and
Wow.
the first car in town.
Yeah.
Your grandfather.
Yeah. So come on inside.
No, but there's all these items with price tags on them. Antiques out here. So
Yeah.
This is
This is a Dexter, one of the first washing machines ever, electric.
Okay.
That's a Griswold. They're worth a lot of money.
oh my gosh, Griswold are really, yes, they
Yeah,
are.
these are
You're absolutely right.
Griswolds. Yeah, we probably got 150 Griswold pieces. This was the old opera house.
Listen to him, you don't know what he's talking about.
Is that right?
That's correct.
We should
If
follow
you want
you.
to know anything about Micanopy, you look at this book right here.
You got it, Jerome?
How about it, Hollywood?
Hey, man, how you
That's
doing?
You
him,
know
all
who you're
right.
talking to right
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
They're from
James.
Hollywood and they
Are
come
you
in.
really?
How are you? Yeah, we
You know
are.
this guy?
Well, we do now.
This is Jerome. His family built that building.
That's
Is that
my
right?
feaster building.
That's
Oh
his
my
feaster
gosh.
building. He's a
Look here.
feaster, yeah.
It's in this book. And there's my great uncle's grandson or something or
Oh my
other.
gosh.
Hey, man,
God bless you.
come
Jerome,
see you later. I'll come see you. Yeah.
We'll go sit on the porch.
Nice meeting you.
Hey.
Ooh.
know these people? Or
We
they
just met today.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we just met today.
Yeah, Micanopy's a pretty friendly town.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, Bud loves it.
I'm
And
proud
these
to
guys
live here.
love
I'm
it.
proud to live here. Yeah.
Have you guys drove through the cemetery?
Not yet.
No, yeah.
Oh, it's
That's a must see.
Oh,
Is that right?
Okay. All right, perfect.
I mean, they talk about a ghost at the Harlem Mansion.
I've stayed there, I don't know how many times, never seen a ghost or heard of anything.
Can you tell me one thing about Micanopy that people would not know about, like, unless they met a local?
I
People
think it's Dr. Montgomery. He got drunk, stripped off naked, and rode his horse down the main street. And he was also excommunicated from the church because of his knowledge of other women.
One time I was down there and a group of guys came by and I had recognized Tom Petty, Heartbreakers,
Right.
and they went in and rented the downstairs of one of these buildings. So they asked me, they said, hey, you know, help me build a stage. And so we had these artists that started coming into town to do artwork.
Uh-huh.
And they started renting places one by one. And the town started coming back to life.
What is the draw for both of you to a town like Micanopy?
I love it. This is my town. My husband always tried to entice me to, let's move to the mountains. Let's move somewhere to Georgia. Let's move. And no, this is my town. I know people. I couldn't see myself living anywhere else.
Okay, so those are the cliff notes. We really did sit with them. They were kind enough to sit and talk with us for like 90 minutes.
I know, it was crazy. When we arrived, we saw that their hours of business at the museum is 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we met with them at 11 a.m. And I was so grateful that they came in, opened the museum up early for us, and sat down. I honestly thought we were only going to take up maybe at the most 1 hour of their time.
Yeah.
But they were both so engaging. We were there for almost 2 hours. You say 90 minutes. It was 12:50 by the time we wrapped up.
Yeah, they were nudging us out the door.
I still cannot get over that Billy and Sandy's grandfather,
J.R. Mountain.
he owned the garage there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm going to just start.
Yeah,
Let's go
start
way
at the
back.
beginning,
Because JR was a blacksmith.
Yep.
So he was the only blacksmith in the town when it, was first inhabited. Basically.
Yeah, and he heard about these newfangled things called what?
Cars.
Yeah, cars.
That's right. He had the first car in Micanopy, the first car.
He did.
And then he opened up a garage because other people started buying cars.
And as a blacksmith, he was pretty handy already.
Yes. Then he made it a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was so genius. Since there was a Greyhound station in town and his garage was right near the Greyhound station, during the Depression, he opened up a restaurant right next to the garage, which was right next to the Greyhound station. So even though
the Greyhound station, incidentally, was a bench.
Yes, that's what it was. It was a bench. And it had an awning, I think. But his grandfather had the foresight to know, even though it's the Depression, even though people are living on pennies, when you're on a bus, you need a sandwich when you get off that bus. And when you're traveling a far distance, you'll make sure you get yourself something to eat. So he was a blacksmith, a mechanic, a gas station attendant,
and a restaurateur.
That is unbelievable to me. And guess what? I know you know this.
What?
They still own the building, the garage.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know where you were going with that. Yeah.
Which was where the Greyhound station bench used to be, right in front of the garage. And they own the building next to it, which now is an antique store, but back then was their house where Billy lived as a child.
Yeah.
Well, his family still owns not just the garage building, but his old house. So they still own that building. So the entire building used to be his home. Bottom floor and top floor. Now the bottom floor is being used for retail space. Wren Wood Antiques.
Yeah.
Gloria and Joe currently inhabit that space and have beautiful antiques.
Yeah.
The top floor, though, is still used as Billy's mom's house, but it's empty. She doesn't, her stuff is still there, Billy said.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah, they moved her.
Oh, yeah, because I know she moved. She's 93. She didn't want to go up and down stairs.
Yeah.
But she still comes back every single, so this tells you what kind of town it is. She still makes the walk over to her old house to water the flowers in front of the antique shop.
Yeah.
That's the downstairs of her old house now.
Did you see the flowers? They're really pretty.
They look nice. Yeah.
93. And even Billy said, you might run into my mom. She's going to be watering the flowers in front of the antique store today.
Yeah. Props to Billy's mom for like making that trip every day.
He's pointing to people leaving the big city, going to smaller places to get more property. But then we're also finding it's people that do that sometimes go back to the big city from our last episode because they're missing their big city vibe. And now we're talking to two locals who are saying people from South Florida in the big cities are coming to Micanopy. So it is honestly, James, all over the board. It truly is all over the board.
But let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that anymore.
Patrick would agree with me.
Okay, great. But let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about how we should have gotten pizza instead of barbecue.
Oh, let's do that.
Because
I hadn't either.
Everybody we talked to was sending us to Pearl's, or what's the name of the Blue Highway or something like Blue something pizza place?
Yeah,
the pizza place.
Blue Highway Pizza.
Blue Highway Pizza. We should have went to Blue Highway Pizza because let me tell you, Pearl's is so overrated. I don't know how this place got, like you said, it was one of the top 4 barbecue joints in Florida.
It was voted one of the top 4. Now, it didn't say it was number 4 or number 1 or number 2. It says top 4, which I find very vague. Yeah. Very vague. Yeah. So, but they also listed it themselves. Pearl did. It's on their website too.
Pearl listed it themselves?
Yeah, we're one of the top 4.
Claim? Well, I don't know. Maybe it came from somewhere.
Southern Living Magazine.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they wrote.
Oh, your favorite magazine.
Yeah. Oh, we're in the
your
South.
new favorite magazine. Bless your heart.
Well, that place was filthy. It was so dirty.
It was disgusting for sure. Flies. Every single table was dirty.
I hope you didn't get hepatitis.
The ribs looked good. But I can tell you right now, somebody should kidnap somebody from Pearls and take them to Buc-ee's, because I'm not going to lie, I got at a truck stop a better brisket sandwich. And I'm not even saying Buc-ee's is an amazing brisket sandwich, but I'm saying roadside stop for a quick.
Buc-ee's was really good.
It was really good. But the meat, so I don't know how they pulled this off. Like at Pearls, it was simultaneously fatty and dry.
Oh, it's weird.
Like chewy on the outside, grungy in the middle. I don't know. I would just like,
the bun looked good.
I saw the ribs and I saw them and I was like, oh, those look beautiful. But I'm not like a huge pork person.
If that brisket was dry, the ribs are dry. Take it from me.
Yeah, maybe.
But I would not touch it.
It doesn't matter, because everybody we were looking at, everybody we talked to said go there. Yeah. Everybody that we saw there did not look happy.
No.
And everybody who went in and out of that restroom was like, do not go in that restroom. Mm-hmm. That's really all you need to know.
Yep.
So I highly recommend going to Buc-ee's and then using the gas station across the street from Pearls, because they had a much nicer restroom.
Oh, did you go in that gas station?
Yeah, because we had to go. Remember, the gas pumps were all packed?
Yeah.
So we drove across the street. Oh, you could have eaten cake off the floor. It was insane. I was like, wow. And everybody was coming out of I don't know. Pearls is just, I'm sorry. Like top 4 in Florida. Like I honestly, like West Van Nuys, California is not even known for barbecue. And I guarantee there are 4 better places in West Van Nuys, California. It's like a Mexican food heaven.
I know. And you could find better barbecue
Absolutely.
there.
There's no question.
I also think that there are just some areas that are so desperate for a certain flavor type of food, that when they don't have it and they finally have it, to them it's the best. It's the whole thing of like being deserted on an island, and then when you get a Ritz cracker, it's the most gourmet cracker in the world.
Here's what you do. I'm going to tell you, because I know you're looking for a business.
Oh no, I'm not.
I want you to call the people that had that food truck barbecue place in Buda, Texas, and ask them if they will franchise you a truck and put it in Micanopy.
I think you should do that. That's a perfect job for you.
I think you're really going to excel.
No, I think you'll be just fine.
We sit around talking all day about you should start this business or you should do that business. I'm said, I always end up
started a business. I had a business. I have a business still.
I know you do. You have a new business. Skip Town All Stars, Skip Town Global LLC. I know your business. Turns out.
But prior to this, I also had a business. So I've already been
I know,
a
but you're
business
like
owner.
every time I complain about something, you're like, well, you should start a business.
Yeah, I do, because
why? That would just keep me in Florida longer. I would never do that.
Because you complain about always doing it better. So just try it for once.
I know I could do it better. I'm from Ohio. That's our way. We always say we can do things better than everyone else in Ohio. That's what we do.
Says the person who's never owned a business. And
I've owned a business. I'm just my only employee. So
all right.
The only person I answer to is me and all my producers and the networks. Yeah, I answer to a lot of people. But anyway, the point is, I think you personally would do really well with your barbecue food truck in Micanopy.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Okay. All right. So what else you got?
Okay. So we both agree it's an adorable city, adorable town.
Absolutely. We'll be back for sure.
We do suggest people go and take a day trip there if you can. If you're into antiques, you're going to find the most beautiful antiques. I'm not an antique person, but I have to tell you, just from what I saw, if you're an antique person, you're going to go crazy.
I'm an antiques person.
Oh, really? Yeah. And when did this happen, Mr. Rose?
I'm just kidding.
Antique, blah, blah, blah.
I'm just kidding. There are actually a lot of coffee shops right in that small strip. There were like 4 bakery / coffee shops. I wanted to try every one. I was kicking myself in the ass that I was caffeinated when we got there.
It's not far. We can go back and get a cup of coffee for you and a brownie.
It looked like 4 amazing places. There was a great bakery right next to the museum.
And Sandy said it. Sandy
was like, I really like that place.
The best baked goods. And I was like, oh, that sounds delicious. So I didn't do it just because I've been on this cleanse diet challenge. So I just like, get me the hell out of here, because everywhere I turned was
people who do cleanses always want to talk about cleanses.
Have I been talking about it? Have I been talking about it?
I'm just kidding.
Have I been talking
cleanse
about this?
Sounds dirty. You know, it's like everybody says I want to cleanse, and instantly everybody's mind, they're like, ew.
They're
like, because they know they're cleaning yourself out. Yeah.
No, I'm just on a diet challenge. So I don't know. Have I been talking about it?
No, I'm just messing with you. I like it. I like
Go
messing
eat your
with you.
shitty barbecue sandwich.
It was horrible. I should go do a cleanse right now. I'm not going to kid you.
So we both agree we could not live there, but great place to visit.
It was an amazing afternoon spent,
I would
amazing
love to-
morning.
I would love to do the bed and breakfast there. It's in a building called the Hurlong Mansion. And
Yeah,
it's
Billy
been
said there were not ghosts there.
I know, even though everyone said there were ghosts there.
Yeah. Billy's seen ghosts in town, but not at Hurlong
No.
Mansion.
So I would spend the night there and do
Yeah.
an overnight at the bed and breakfast. So so that is our take on Micanopy, and we were so grateful to speak with a local because, as I do when we're out, I
Mhm.
always love to talk to a local, but it's usually for a really short period of time. It's usually a shopkeeper or a restaurant
Yeah.
owner or a small business owner. But this time I got to actually sit down with two people for more than 5 minutes and really, really dig in as to what makes them love the town they're in.
I know. And I'm really glad you did it. And sitting with Sandy and Billy today was awesome. It was great. And we can't thank them enough for the immense amount of time they gave us. I was not planning on sitting with them for 2 hours, but they had a lot to talk about their hometown. I can see why they love it. I could learn to love it as a place to go and kick it on weekends and all that. And, at the end of the day, if you're going to be in Central Florida, definitely check out Micanopy.
Yeah, very close to Gainesville, 15 minutes. So, get yourself a job transfer, buy a house in Micanopy, you're all
That's
set.
right. And bring your cash because they got lots of antiques and they're ready to make some deals.
Yes, they are.
You said that was I too pitchy with that? Was I too salesman?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's enough for this episode.
All right. Empty nest, full tank.
See you guys next week.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.